I hope this video doesn't get age restricted because there's a lot of teenagers who deal with this. I myself have as well when I was younger. But on the other hand, if it does, I won't be surprised because it is quite serious and we talk about some very serious stuff today, okay? We have the POV of a man who has an ex-girlfriend and she does not want to live anymore. I won't dance around the words soon, but in the first 30 seconds to a minute, YouTube is very iffy about it, so I'm keeping it clean for now. But don't worry, I'm not doing the typical TikTok censoring, because I just don't want to do that. I think it's very disrespectful, actually. He doesn't know how to help her anymore. There's a text conversation, and having read it, I am quite upset, I have to be honest. But he said his wit's end. He doesn't know what to do anymore about her. He doesn't know how to help anymore. There's a bit of context first, so let's check that out first. We were together for 6 months, long distance, and split because she won't let me meet her due to social anxiety and trauma. She was homeless for some time, drug use, etc., and had her partner die to suicide, and has attempted herself before. She has autism, BPD, Tourette's, and ADHD. She lives with her parents and plays video games for 16 hours a day. She is on antidepressants, but still struggling, and says being honest in therapy will get her landed in a mental facility. I want to be here for her, I love her still, but I'm trying to move on because I want a real relationship and I have been talking to someone who has expressed interest in having that with me and I don't want it to affect it. I feel completely disgusting for wanting to move on and guilty that I'm not okay with settling for an online relationship. There's already a few things. First of all, I feel very sorry for her, of course. I want to warn you already, I'm not going to be very kind to her. Of course, I'm not going to just disrespect her for no reason, but I'm going to be very blunt and direct, just so you know, because I do relate to her. I feel like if I had been honest that I would be in a mental facility as well, but that would have made it worse. I mean, definitely for like suicide, like 24-hour safe stuff, I should have been there more than once. But secondly, you know, he feels guilty for wanting to move on and stuff, but you can't be stuck caring for someone who doesn't want to get helped herself. You'll see this soon, right? It's not, yes, you should try and help people, but once you've tried and it just doesn't work, right? You've tried everything. There's not much, like you said, there's not much more you can do. He doesn't know how to help anymore. And he feels guilty for not being okay with an online relationship. That's totally fair because, I mean, let's be honest, without real connection, you know, as in face to face, can be able to touch each other, not even sexually, just like being with someone physically is so important for just your brain anyway. So I don't think you should feel guilty about that. Can't be alive forever either. Hush, Stinky, you're gonna have a normal life at some point, okay? I'm okay, thanks, Lamau. Well, maybe not normal, but I mean you aren't checking out early if I can help it. I've lived long enough, I'm just hanging on. I don't make plans because I have plans to die soon. Everyone leaves, so I guess when I'm alone, it'll happen because then no one would care. Then I won't ever let you be alone. Said everyone I've ever met, either dead or left, lol. This is already, a big problem for me. Now, I know people deal with things very differently, but I have talked over text with people while feeling particularly bad or suicidal. And I would kind of talk like this, but these weren't the most serious moments for me, actually. Also, this is more than enough grounds for a welfare check, right? Get her name to some sort of, like, police or whatever. Get a welfare check done and make sure that she, like, you can do this, right? You can do this. Even though I did say facilities would make it worse for me, but sometimes people need a bit of a reality check. Like, you are talking about something so serious, and it will be taken as serious as you're talking about it. And secondly, this is very frustrating for me because I know, and I'm going to admit something quite bad about myself. I know that when I said these types of things like, oh, no one would care if I was alive and I'm kind of wanting to die, you know. I wanted for people to care about me because I felt like people didn't, but I knew that they did. Like, rationally, you know that they care because they've told you. Because I can guarantee you this is not the first time she's been doing this. And it feels nice to have someone say, like, then I won't ever let you be alone, and you will have a normal life once. But for me personally, if I was really about to do it, because I've had a few attempts, right? I didn't tell anyone. I didn't want anyone to see. I didn't want anyone to know because I was embarrassed as well. I felt a lot of shame about it. Same with self-harm. Right? I had it on my arms right here, right? And there are no scars, luckily for me, but Eventually, I switched to my body and my upper arms because I didn't want people to know, to see, and to comment about it. I especially didn't want people to start caring about, like, oh, are you okay? Do you need help or stuff? I feel like the way she treats it is very disingenuous. Like, you are giving it no respect at all. And talking about it like it's something to almost boast about, and that's just not the case. And I'm not saying that these feelings aren't real because of it. Like, I'm not saying that she doesn't feel this way. But I feel like it's very strange. Very, very, very weird to talk about it like this with someone. Clearly, you're trying to get sympathy. It's more than clear that that's what you're trying to do. And you're kind of abusing the care that someone else has for you. Just because you feel crappy, you don't get to do that. That's not how this works. Well, I can't control that, but I have no plans to stop being your friend and doing my best to help you with anything you need. Well, what if I say I need you to go and forget about my existence? I'm not going to do that because I don't want you to die. But that's not doing your best to help me, I see. Sorry, I'm being goofy at this point, XD. Why would me leaving be helping you? I'm never gonna be truly okay or anything until I'm dead. And she continues, especially sorry I'm being goofy at this point. He wants to hear, no you're not. It's very serious. It doesn't, like this doesn't... I don't know what, she wants to hear something that she's not being weird and more sympathy. That's what she's fishing for, actively fishing for it. And it frustrates me. That's what I said, like I'm being direct and blunt. You are being very, very kind of manipulative, honestly. You're using your bad mental health as a thing to garner sympathy from someone. And that's just very dishonest and very gross. So... of course, she says she'll be at peace when she dies. That's not true. No amount of healing can fix me. It's facts. No, it's not. It's just what your subconscious tells you constantly because of trauma. I know because it's the same for me. Nope. I have mental disabilities that fractured my mind, make it impossible to do normal activities. All I do is rot. I can't heal from something I physically can't help. The trauma isn't even the issue. It's what's the trauma caused. My body's permanently damaged. My heart's super weak. My mind's literally shattered. I can't even control myself half the time. I feel fine. I'm not sad. And here you go, blaming things, right? And the reason I say it so kind of like bluntly, honestly, kind of mean, is because I know how it feels. I remember the feeling like this is something that happened to me and I can't do anything about it. The only reason I got out of it is because I believed the opposite. That no, it's not my fault that it happened. Of course it's not, but it is your responsibility now. Because there's no one who can get you out of it except for you. That's very standard advice, but it's true. Because I felt that way, and especially because I hid away whenever I was feeling at my lowest, I would look at myself in the mirror, right? And I would barely recognize myself because the look in my eyes felt so unnatural. That's when it kind of clicked. The way I feel depressed is something that's entered the mind, and that's not who I am. That's something separate. Whenever I feel this way, that's not me talking. That's not me thinking these things. And because of that, it already lost a lot of power over me, actually. And I kind of moved away from it slowly but surely. I moved away because I realized that it wasn't me talking. That wasn't who I was. The pain that I caused others, that's a little bit different. I couldn't separate myself from that. But the feeling of being so incredibly empty inside that you don't recognize yourself in the mirror, that you feel so emotionless, but also kind of sad at the same time that you want to die. Right, I've sat here with a knife on my wrist. I've had bags over my head. This is very graphic and personal, but it's true. I did all those things, to the point I almost passed out with the bag, right? Once you are able to recognize that that's not who you are, and it's not normal to feel that way. It feels almost normal to feel that, and almost comfortable in a way as well. I felt like I didn't always want to escape the feeling that I got. Oftentimes I actually didn't want to escape it because it felt nice. And the same with self-harm. It felt almost nice to do it. Of course, the physical feeling of pain was never pleasant. I never did it because I liked that. Because it's not about that. It's not some sort of fetish thing. It's an expression, I feel, of emotions that are so indescribable that it needs something as drastic as self-harm to even express it a little bit. And then still it doesn't resolve anything because it only makes it worse. But she's taking no responsibility. And that's very, very hard to do. And it takes a sort of mental toughness or clicking moment, or both, in order to do that. And that's not easy. I know it's true, but it's not easy at all. But you can't like, you're not in an anime. You can't say, oh, my heart is just so broken and I'm unable to be fixed, because it's just not true. People have gone through worse stuff than you and they've gotten out of it. Why can't you? Why are you the one that is so weak, so special, that you cannot heal from things? Truth is that you're just not special like that. You are the same as everyone. It sucks. It's not fun at all. No one is claiming that it is, but it's just, you are not in the position to be saying that you cannot be healed, because it's just not true. If anything, I'm happy right now, but it doesn't matter at all. I'm never gonna be truly happy until I'm effing dead. I just want it to end. I know it's not exactly right, but it's never going to end unless I end. Man, I've said too much. Sorry, I forgot. No one other than me actually handle the effing truth, Lamao. Again, this is not her talking, is what I'm saying. She has deluded herself into thinking that this is the truth when it's not, like I said before. But I don't need to tell you that. It's the very, like, it just won't end until I end it. I'm telling that to you, but it's not because I want any sympathy from you. That's not what I'm doing this, right? If you truly believe that, you would have kept it to yourself and you would have gone through with it. Or you would have at least tried. And I'm not saying that you should do that, but the way you're doing it right now is just very, very dishonest. And it's very manipulative. You are making him a victim. You're gonna make him feel guilty if you actually go through with it. You're gonna make him feel like he can't let you go, because you're guilt tripping him constantly into feeling sympathy for you, when you just don't deserve it like this. The way you're going about it, you don't deserve sympathy. And I empathize with how you feel, and I feel horrible that you're feeling this way. But you don't get to do this just because you feel crappy, like I said before. That's not how it works. You are roping other people into your crap, not as a cry for help, not as trying to fix it. You're trying to get some sort of social points. That's what you're doing. The moment you start actually trying to help yourself is the moment this whole thing switches up, and I would actually feel sympathy for you and you would actually deserve it. But you don't right now, because you are not taking it serious. How are other people supposed to help you and take it serious if you don't do it yourself? It's not his responsibility, it's your responsibility. That's tough to hear. That's not fun at all. And I'm not trying to have you feel good. A lot of people get babied when they have mental issues. I got babied. Oh, poor thing. Poor you. Cradling. But you need truth. You can't dance around it with these types of things, you know. Of course, there's a time and a place when someone is about to attempt suicide. You want to not say this, probably. Or maybe it does work if you're just being brutally honest and they need kind of that reality check. Not saying to always be like this towards someone with bad mental health, but someone, somewhere, the right person at the right time is going to have to say something like this in order for them to realize it, because clearly they can't do it themselves. It's not a case of being mean, because you gotta say it out of love, or because you've experienced it yourself. You can't just do this, because my brother always said he just needs to go outside and go for a walk, and he needs to not lie in bed all day. But of course I know that already, but I needed to hear that from the right person at the right time. And then I actually started doing things and trying to incorporate habits that actually worked. And funnily enough, my depression got less. Not only because I was able to separate it, but then I started doing things that would actively go against the depression. And it worked. And it was so simple. Of course, that's not where it ended, because people think that if you beat depression, then somehow it's over. But no, it stays with you. It does, but you just get so much stronger that it doesn't really hold much power over you. And I remember it, actually. The panic attacks I had times where I literally got better at the skill of self-harming. Because at first I would trace the knife over my arm until it hurts, and then ugh. Then eventually I was able to draw blood. Then I was able to do it comfortably. And then eventually it left scars. That was so, that progression was actually so worrying to me. You know, the flashes of people who love me while I was trying to kill myself. Those are things you keep. They don't end. The look on my face in the mirror when I didn't recognize myself and I wanted to die. I genuinely did, you know. The feeling of taking a moment when I'm outside to just kind of stand and think, I don't know, not even think about anything. Just your mind reeling with thoughts, but it's empty at the same time. You keep that. None of that goes away. But it beats it beats being in it, man. I promise you, you can trust me on this. Afterwards, there's so much more. Because while, yes, you keep all these dark things, you also appreciate good things way more, right? You know, it's taken a lot for me to openly love again. But the love that I feel for others, and also just for myself and for the world, not necessarily what's happening in the world, but just like being alive, being grateful to be alive. A lot of people don't think about that, but I do, because I've tried to take mine. Eventually I didn't, because I didn't want to hurt other people with my absence. I thought about my mom and my dad having to stand at my funeral and accept that their son died. I couldn't do it. I'm glad I couldn't. I don't think that's a sign of weakness as well. I know that it takes a lot of strength. It's very tiring to go through depression or anything like that. And I want to make it clear that I'm not denying her feelings. I'm just saying that the way she goes about this is not helping herself and is making other people's life way worse. And you shouldn't feel guilty for asking for help when you're actually trying to get help. But you should feel guilty when you're not asking for help and you're just making people worried about you or trying to fish for sympathy using your mental illness to get social points. That's when you do get to feel guilty, and you should. It should sting, because what you're doing is wrong, and I mean that. And I would say that to myself as well. I don't really want to talk about it much more, honestly, because it is very deep. Right. And this girl should get a welfare check. This guy should call for a welfare check, and he should let it go, really. Because what he's saying, you're not helping her at this point, you're indulging her. And that's making it worse. It would be better if you let her go and deal with it. Because you're not helping her deal with it. You're like I said, you're indulging her in her sympathy. She's getting a positive reinforcement from acting more depressed. The more depressed and the more suicidal she talks to you now, the more she'll get sympathy, the more that will feel nice. She's getting a positive feedback from her behavior, and she shouldn't get that. I hope I worded it well. I hope that maybe this helps someone, and I hope that she sees what she's doing wrong. I hope that this guy realizes that he's not helping her at the moment. Yes, you're being there for her, but you're not helping with the problem. You're helping the problem. Yeah, that'll do for this video. Leave. I don't care what you leave. Yeah, Jesus Christ is Lord, and let's get out of here.